Well, good morning. It is Thursday, August 13th, and Thursdays means parables by Peter, so we have our book, The Orthodox Heretic. And I'm just letting you know we are running out of these. We only have a few left, but they've been good, and it's been a good experience for us, so we'll figure something else to do. So this one is called Mansions. And so Dr. Rollins writes, around a large campfire, late one autumn evening, Jesus confronted his disciples by speaking to them of a heavenly realm that was far surpassed the beauty of anything on earth. He spoke of a place that never grows dark or cold, a vast city that is filled with beautiful mansions, with streets of gold and with unending expanses of green and fertile land, a place of perpetual peace and fulfillment. Jesus spoke of this kingdom late into the night, painting pictures of heaven until the fire began to turn to ash and a chill filled the air. One by one, each of his disciples drifted out to sleep with the image of a heavenly treasure and luxurious mansions feeding their dream. In the end, only Jesus and a poor, unknown, and uneducated disciple was left, and each one lost in thought, watching as the last cinder of the fire began to die. After some time passed, the solitary disciple looked to Jesus and spoke. "I was wondering about something," he said. "Yes, my friend," Jesus replied. "Well, there are so many people who follow you now that I can't help worrying that someone like me, an old uneducated sinner, may get overlooked amidst all the great thinkers, the politicians, the preachers, and the radicals who are being attracted to you and your message." Then he turned his face away and continued, "I've never been in a mansion. In fact, I've never seen one. So I don't care too much if I miss out on all that, but tell me, will there be room enough for me when I die? Will there be somewhere for me to stay in this kingdom of which you speak?" Jesus looked at the man with compassion. "Don't worry," he whispered, in a tone that could barely be heard over the distant, contented noise of the sleeping crowd. "Tucked away in a tiny corner of heaven, away from all the grand mansions and the streets of gold, there is a cramped little stable. It doesn't look like much inside or out, but on a clear night you can see the stars shining bright amidst the cracks, and you can feel the warm breeze caress your skin. In this kingdom, that is where I live, that you would be welcome to live here with me." And so ends our reading. And so another great parable, and it has to do with whatever ideas of heaven are like. So if our heaven is talking about streets of gold and, sitting on clouds, playing the harp and all those types of things, and maybe that's what heaven is. Maybe, I don't know. There's not a lot of good description of what heaven looks like. But if that is your idea of heaven, I wonder where you got it from, first of all. Probably from some extra biblical writings of some sort. But what we have here in this parable is talking about somebody who's never experienced any of that, never seen a mansion, never can't imagine what streets of gold even looks like. And so Jesus says that he is found in this little stable in a corner of heaven where he lives. And this is where that person is going to go. And so that gives me comfort, because when I think of heaven, my definition of heaven is simply being in the presence of God. Whatever that may be, but being in the presence of God. And isn't that what we want with our heaven? We don't. Personally, I don't care about the streets of gold and mansions and playing harps and all those things. I care about being in the presence of God, and that is what Jesus is telling this person. Heaven may be different from what we imagine. It probably is very different from what we imagine, but we should know that God is present there. And it's funny that Jesus says he's present in the stable. Remember, that is where Jesus was born, in a stable. And so it's kind of beginning to end, kind of bookends to the whole story. Jesus is found in this simple, humble stable. See, I don't think God cares about all the riches. I don't think Jesus cares about all the riches in this world. He just cares about us and cares about what we are and who we are. But I know that we are loved, and I know that God will care for us in the afterlife. Go forth this day in the peace and the love of Christ.